Hello, hello, hello. All right. Hello. Hey, hey, hey. Come on in, guys. Hello, Jeremy. Thank you for saying my full name. Great. All right. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Digital Church series. So, inside of this series, what I've been doing since March the 17th is going live every single week to share resources and information to local and just not local, but to church leaders and ministries everywhere who are currently being impacted by COVID-19 and having to completely do church in a brand new way. So, with that, I want to just give kudos to every ministry, every preacher and pastor who has really found ways to make this predicament work. I know that it is outside of the norm of what we are used to, what we grew up with, but this is something that we do have to deal with currently. And I do believe that this will set us up for continuing to have some sort of digital component to our ministries. So, what I want to talk about today is about the non-digital savvy church. So, think about this. There are churches that haven't met for almost a month. Like, this has almost been a month of us within this pandemic of COVID-19. So while many ministries have been able to find a new groove with using online technologies and online mediums, there is a group of churches that have not held any church services. So really think about that. So before all of this, many churches, especially those with older congregations or older demographic in their congregation, or even those who are located in rural areas, those churches may not have had a website, let alone a Facebook page. So, what happens for those ministries who have now been pushed to do online mediums, and many of them are not comfortable with it? Many of them don't know where to start. So some of our ministries who have been able to kind of keep rolling with things already had a Facebook page, already were live streaming their content. But what about those churches and those ministries who were not doing that? What about those churches and ministries who have an older demographic, did not have a church website, let alone a Facebook page? What do they do? So this particular live video is for those people who fit this demographic. And even if you don't, there are still helpful tips that you all can stick around to listen to on this live this evening, okay? So again, my topic is the non-digital savvy church. 3 ways to connect without live streaming. 3 ways to connect without live streaming. The first of those ways, which I believe is the most important of the things I'm going to talk about. All of these things are important that you can use, but I like this one in particular. So the very first thing is dial in live stream. So establishing a dial in live stream. So video streaming isn't always accessible to every single person who is in your congregation. Some people may not have access to internet, right? Or again, for our older generations, they don't even know how to use these platforms, right? A phone or a computer to log on and do all these things that we're so used to doing, right? So they're comfortable using radio or they're comfortable using television. So you want to think about ways that you can bring them into this digital church experience, right? So radio streaming is one way for them to listen into by way of an FM or an AM station. Also, using a local television broadcast is another option. But if you do not have the funds or the means to do radio or to do TV, what else do you do? So that is what I'm talking about right now. Dial in live service. So you can use this. I've seen a lot of churches, and one of the things I talked about when I did my first live was Zoom, right? Zoom for churches. So Zoom is an option that provides you with dial in. So whenever you have a meeting, you can also send out the information for someone to call in and listen by phone. However, what I want to point out is a system that is specifically for this, right? So with this, this is called phonelivestreaming.com. Phonelivestreaming.com. What this particular service allows you to do, and it's made for church ministries, all right? I love systems and services that are made for ministry. So again, phonelivestreaming.com. What this does is it allows your ministry to have a dedicated phone number. Zoom does not allow you to do this, right? You have a dedicated phone number where it is a number that is particular for your ministry, particularly for your ministry, that is consistent. Okay, so each church receives its own unique phone number. So there are no secret access codes that people have to put in order to get into the meeting, right? When you do something by way of Zoom or free conference call, platforms like that, people have to put in the access code, right? So no more of that. All they have to do is dial a number that is unique to your church ministry, and that does not change throughout using this platform. So you have a dedicated phone number. The second thing that this allows you to do is that it holds up to 250 callers. And if you need more, you can contact their customer support and they can provide you with more detailed information about that. Another thing that this system does, phonelivestreaming.com, is that it provides you with live notifications. So this is equivalent to an email blast that goes out to your ministry or a social media post or notification. However, it comes in the form of a phone call. And this is a phone call that dials your congregants on the phone, and they can pick it up and it reminds them, a live notification, hey, service is getting ready to start in 10 minutes. Make sure you do X, Y, and Z, right? Another component with phonelivestreaming.com is that you can broadcast live, right? So you can be preaching and your members can hear you as it's happening, or you can do a live that is pre-recorded or a playback of a sermon that you have previously done. You can upload this by way of an audio file or MP4, MP3 file, should I say MP3 file. And with this, you can also select the time that you want to go live or broadcast, and it will begin your live stream that way. So this is called phonelivestreaming.com. And this is something that is really important for those who do not have access to internet, for those who are not technologically savvy, such as our older demographics. So you really want to think about those persons. You do not want to leave them out during this time, because they are still a part of your ministry and they want to receive the word of God, and they want to feel that they are connected and not left out of the experience that you are providing online. So you really have to think about other ways to reach your ministry members, especially for our older demographic. So this allows them to listen by way of phone. Number two, resource number two is a drive-in church service. So many of us have started to see this drive-in church service happen across the U.S., and I love it, right? The church that I felt did this extremely well is Triumph Church in Detroit, Michigan. And they did this during our very first Sunday that we could not meet in the church house. So this is an option that you can provide. So what does this look like? So one way that you could do this is you can ask your members to register online, or you can pick up the phone and call them and ask them what time are they going to be a part of the worship experience. What this allows you to do is to monitor the space that you have available, as well as making sure that you stay within the limits that have been set forth by our government agencies, okay? When you do a drive-in service, this is extremely important because I've seen ministries not doing this, is that you want to ask your members to remain in their cars. You want them to remain in their cars. Again, we know that what's happening right now with this virus is something that, a cough, a sneeze, someone touches the wrong thing, touch their face, they can contract that virus. So you want to make sure that you are alleviating this issue. So you want to ask people to remain in their cars. You can partner with a local radio station to broadcast the message by way of radio, again, using an FM or AM station. So that way your members can hear your message as they see you in real time. Another way you can do this is by placing your pastor on the screen. So getting a screen that you can place into the church parking lot that allows your members to see the message in real time while they are listening on the radio, or utilizing equipment that is good microphones for outdoors, good speakers for outdoors, so that your members can hear while they are sitting in their car if you choose not to use a radio station in order to hear your broadcast. So that was tip number 2. Drive-in church service. The third and final tip that I want to share tonight is doing a weekly conference call. So doing a weekly conference call. So this provides a personal touch for your church, a personal touch for your church members. So with this can be a prayer meeting, this can be a regular service, or a weekly check-in. Right now, one of the things that I told you all last week is that people are looking for community now more than ever, because we have been isolated to our homes, isolated to only being within our place of comfort, but we still want to feel community. We still want to feel loved and connected with others. So doing a weekly conference call will allow that to happen, whether it's a prayer meeting or it's a weekly check-in with your members. Then they can dial in again to a specialized number and be able to hear the pastor's voice, be able to hear the leader's voice, be able to unmute themselves and talk back, right? So that it's a phone dialogue and people feel that they are again connected to the ministry. So the 3 tips that I shared on this evening was 1, a dial-in live stream. Taking a look at a platform that I have identified in this particular training that is called phonelivestreaming.com, which allows you to have a dedicated phone number for your church that is unique only to your church. And it handles 250 callers. And if you need more, you can request more. It provides you with a live notification. So just like a e-blast would be, or a social media post would be a reminder, you can have a audio phone call to your members to let them know, hey, church is getting ready to happen in the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Make sure that you're ready, right? Prepare yourself, prepare your heart and mind for worship. And then the last piece in that is that you can broadcast by way of the phone live, or you can use a pre-recorded or archive playback in order to play on the phone with the MP3 file. The second thing that I talked about was a drive-in service, but doing drive-in service the right way, asking your members to stay in the car, providing them with ways to listen to the word by way of radio, by way of placing a screen so that they can see the minister who is speaking at that time, as well as using proper equipment, right? Microphones and speakers, so that people can hear you if you don't use radio or if you don't use a screen while they are sitting in their cars, right? So you want to ask them to remain in their cars. The third thing that I talked about was doing a weekly conference call. So doing a weekly conference call provides that personalized touch that members are yearning for during this time of isolation to our homes. So we still want to feel a sense of community. We still want to feel that people care. We still want to feel that we are connected to our church family. So those were the 3 tips that I talked about today in this live stream for the non-digital savvy church. 3 ways to connect without live streaming. So I want to encourage you guys to join the email list for Digital Church University so that you can receive more resources, more insight to using communications, digital communications, social media in the life of your church. So I thank you guys for joining me on this evening. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out to me by way of DM, by way of Facebook message, or by way of email, Keisha at knragency.com. And I will respond to anything that you send to me as it relates to learning how to use digital technology in the life of your church. So I'll see you guys next week with another live training on this subject matter within the Digital Church series. So see you guys later.